But now I want to move on to a story, and I've been trying to get in conceptually into this story for a while. And thank you to the Post newspaper, which finally published a piece, I think, yesterday or the day before, which I thought, yeah, that's starting to get to what I am interested in talking about. It was a piece entitled Capital Conversation, Goodbye Friday PM Drinks. And this matches up with someone I talked to in the brewing industry in Wellington. He said Thursday is now the night that people go out, well, not on the lash. That would be a crude way to describe it. People go out for work drinks. Thursday's the big bar night in Wellington's now. Fridays has evaporated because this town, for one reason or other, is dying. And there's been quite a debate in Wellington, and I think this is matched across the country. I don't think this is just a Wellington issue, but I think Wellington's where we can focus on a little bit. And that is our towns, our inner cities are dying. And I'm going to give out, so retail, you can buy everything online now. You don't need to go to the shops. Late night shopping on Friday used to be a huge thing. And then, of course, you get to the end of the working week and you've been in the office all week and you go out with your workmates and you blow off a bit of steam on a Friday. It was a big deal. But I seem to think it's all changing. And, in fact, research apparently suggests it does. And there's a firm called Robert Walters in Wellington, and its senior director, Bridget Clarke, says, yep, we are literally changing the way we work and live. So I thought it'd be nice to get Bridget on the program and talk about this. Bridget, welcome to the platform. Lovely to have you with us.
Good morning, Sean. Thank you.
All right, look, just a quick plug for Robert Walters too. Why is your firm interested in this and what do you do?
Oh, yeah, we're very interested in this. So Robert Walters, we're a large recruitment consultancy and we're probably the largest recruiter to the public sector. So flexible working is a very hot topic at the moment.
Yeah, because it has absolutely changed. And 9 to 5 for generations, actually. Dolly Parton wrote a song about it. 9 to 5 or thereabouts was the accepted working day, and you did that 5 days a week and you went to your office and you worked, right?
Correct. Yep. The world is changing.
Why? And what has changed it?
Yeah, look, there's a couple of things. So obviously post-COVID, so we recently ran a survey and over 90% of professionals would consider looking for a new role if their employer asked them to increase their in-office days. So we've seen a massive switch to post-COVID for the hybrid working, either you're remote 5 days or you're coming into the office perhaps 1 or 2 days a week. It's a big switch.
And I guess, too, technology has allowed that to happen because, I don't know, 20 years ago, no internet. You'd come in, maybe there was 20 years ago, I'm too old to remember, but you'd come in, the typewriters were there, the filing cabinets were there. To do a lot of jobs, you had to be physically in the office because technology didn't allow you to access the resources you needed to do your job from anywhere else.
Correct, but that has obviously changed now. So there's such an emphasis now on work-life balance. We're obviously seeing more Gen Z into the workforce. Their priorities are changing. Work-life balance is definitely the number one factor. As you say, with technology, you can work from home now. However, it does depend on the type of role you're doing as to how effective you're going to be.
All right. For public servants, though, is this a real trend in Wellington in particular?
Yeah, absolutely it is. I think anyone working in Wellington can see it. The roads are pretty dead specifically Monday and Friday. The bars are hurting. So absolutely it is. There are some empty offices around town.
Yeah, and Mondays and Fridays, of course, if you're supposedly, inverted commas, working from home, I guess you take the long weekends, don't you? You take a Monday, you take a Friday. You're not really doing, not just not doing 9 to 5 in the office, you might not be doing 5 days a week.
Yeah, and that's an interesting one. So, look, employers definitely worry about productivity. But the world is changing, though. So employers should be focused or should be reported on their outputs, so productivity and outputs rather than perhaps time in the seat. Employers need to be confident that they've employed the right people to do the job and that they're going to do it regardless of where they work from. However, employees do need to think about the advantages that you get in working in an office environment. So, the old water cooler chat, the collaboration with the colleagues, the skill development that you learn from people around you, that does go away a little bit when you are working from home.
Yeah, Bridget, I think there are other, if you like, anthropological impacts of this. I think people become less socialised. Perhaps more people become withdrawn or socially awkward. And this is a true story. I was talking to a friend the other day who actually does a little bit of consultancy for me in a technical thing. He often comes in the office to do it, but he has been working remotely for his main employer from home for a long time. He went to the doctor, said he wasn't feeling good. His memory was a little bit off. The doctor said, you've got a vitamin D deficiency, probably simply because you haven't been commuting, getting out of your home and going to work each day and exposed to sunlight, which I was stunned by. But sure enough, he's had some vitamin D supplements and he's feeling a hell of a lot better.
Look at him, he's away.
Yeah. Bridget, is there anything that 9 to 5, you say Wellington's particularly public servants, is this reflected in other cities and across other industries other than the public service?
Yeah, absolutely it is. I mean, it's right across the country. I mean, it's right across ANZ. So at the moment, we're seeing a push over in Australia, first and foremost, with employers asking their staff to come back into the office. So Amazon, the Aussie gaming outfit, Tabcorp, and the New South Wales government recently asked all of their employees to come into the office 5 days a week. So it's definitely not just Wellington. It's much further afield.
Yeah. This seems... look, I don't want to overblow this. But I just think the impacts of this are huge, absolutely huge to the way we live our lives. Do you think, and I'll say as an employer, which I'm a relatively new employer, the one thing that peeves me is that I pay my people by the hour and by the day. And I'm kind of required to because most contracts, most people are used to that. But actually, it's not really matching how they work. I don't sit there and ask anyone to clock in or clock out for an 8-hour working day because it's kind of task driven. And to be honest, sometimes I think I ask my people to go past 8 hours a day, but on other days they might do 4. It isn't, as we change the way we work to be, I think, more flexible and more task oriented or outcome oriented, some of our old ways of relating to each other in terms of industrial relations would seem to me to be outdated. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So there's a new trend, which we haven't touched on, called chrono working, so working outside the body clock. So working outside the norm of 9 to 5. So a recent survey that we conducted, 42% felt that chrono working would improve their mental health. So yes, the days of 9 to 5, the days of being in the office 5 days a week, they have shifted, but there are benefits to that.
To the shift or to the way we used to do things?
Yeah, to the shift. There are benefits to the shift.